Greetings.
Greetings.
The weather up there.
It's a little bit chilly. It was nice today for the most part.
Cool. On the internet.
So, but not bad.
Oh, that wind chill can stop.
Yes, it's kind of nippy.
Mike, can you hear me? Did you get the bid on the fence?
I did. Let me get back to my email here a second.
So I got like 7 other fence people who responded to post. So I thought that I'd put a formal bid out to other people
Right.
just to get some comparative bidding. Because it seemed a little high to me, but I don't.
I mean, this was this one that you found. Is this the only one you gotten back so far?
It's the only one I sent a request for quote out to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would shop around. See what
This is the company that did the fence last year.
Okay.
So I just went back to them.
I mean, I might send it out to some other people that service the area and see what they have to say, because we may find that we could get a better price.
I'll write up a formal request for quote and I'll send it to you. It has all the specs of the fence, the material and all that,
Okay.
so that we can keep them similar to what we've got.
Okay.
I'm a little confused about that fence bid thing. It leaves the impression that we're not going to be using the main gate any longer and it's going to be substituted by 2 12-foot these things.
No, and that was not the idea. The idea is that the main gates, the like vehicle barriers will remain there, but these would be in front of them. So there would be, you have to have 2. There's one on the tongue and then there's one at the main entrance. So
Okay. And when is it, since the meeting hasn't started yet, as a practical matter, how do you envision this being used? During the season, we have 2 gates?
well, you would always have 2 gates. You can just open them.
Okay, well, no, I
The reason
personally
why I'm saying
don't
that is
wanna
because
open
a
one
chain link,
gate
if
and
you're
then come
thinking
in
about,
and then open another gate. That is not
if you're,
something
if
I
you're,
would want to do.
no,
Yeah.
I understand that, but if you're trying, you're trying to accomplish two goals, and if you can figure out how to do it with one gate, that's fine. But you're trying to keep vehicles off, which a chain link fence is not going to do,
Okay,
and then you're trying to keep people from being able to run to the edge of the street with stuff. I mean, it's like I mean, I was not expecting that price tag either.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, my understanding of all of this was that we were going to address the issue with the emergency gate. I didn't know that, and you can do whatever,
gate?
because this is just a request that the board.
no, I mean, like literally, this is us just looking at what it's going to cost us. I mean, we're still
Right.
in the phases of discovery of what things would cost if we took routes and things like that, which is what we need to do.
Okay.
This is just a start. Obviously it needs to, have a lot more questions and
Okay,
thoughts
that's
and
fine,
whatever.
that's fine.
Right.
So-
I mean, I
like
don't
said,
think this was
just
like a,
wanted-
I don't,
when I saw it come
in-
across, it was a little confusing.
no, I don't think this was like a quest to act. If
Okay.
that was taken that way, because I didn't get that from it. I think it's just we were trying to figure out what the cost would be if we did that. So, if that was an option.
Okay,
So, and like literally, that's literally what this is. And my thought is like his is that seems a little high, but and I think the only logical thing to do is just to go to a couple more and just ask, send a request for quote to him and see if we get similar amounts, and then we know that
or
probably is
the
best option.
scope and all that of the business, because of what are you trying to build a fortress, that
Not
stuff?
really. No,
I'm,
not
not
at all.
saying that, I'm just throwing that out there. I said,
Not really. Not at all. I'm
yeah,
not trying to
so
build a
if the goal is that's going to be an impossible task, because it's just too
yeah,
many.
no, I'm not trying to build a fortress. What
But
I'm
I
trying to
can
do
see
is,
the logic of it, yeah.
I mean, like if you look up and down the properties and the properties that weren't, molested, maybe you should say. I mean, most of them had some sort of fencing around them that required those people to funnel to a point. So, I mean, what I wanted to do was look at it as an option. Like I said,
Okay.
we're just exploring things. So,
Okay, that's
And
fine.
I have 7 fence visitors who responded to a post that I want. So
okay.
I could start putting out formal quotes, but it's a discussion to be talked about.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
so
like,
when you
Oh.
have that discussion, should that, I'm just asking questions here, should that discussion then be within committee, or whatever that is, and then you present that discussion outcome to the board to judge, rather than trying to get the board to weigh in on something you're not quite clear on yet? I'm just asking, yeah, because otherwise it can be confusing. I mean, any chair of any committee like in your security thing there, Mike, if you have concluded that this is the route to go, then within your committee and with help from maintenance, I guess, in this case, or development, determine what it is that you want to do in terms of scope, then have the package pulled together, then present for approval to the board. The way this is approached, it opens itself for a lot of discussion that may or may not be prudent or desirable, when this really should be handled within committee.
I'm sorry, I wasn't the one that sent you this email.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Yeah,
It was just a
So-
starting point.
yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at X, Y, and Z, and here's some of the outcomes. That sort of thing. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Generally speaking, I know I'm kind of walking in the middle and left to go. I generally try to avoid having free-flowing, problem-solving discussions at the board anxiety level around that. And I kind of prefer to have
You're breaking up, Craig. Sorry.
oh, okay. I'll put another quarter in the slot.
No sound.
Can you not hear me?
Nope.
Oh, Lord, just,
Yeah, you're in and out. Are you using cellular?
no. There, you should be able to hear me now.
Okay. Are you in Mexico?
No, we're at home.
Do you get internet from the United States?
No, it's just tariffed really high.
Yes, it's subject to a tariff, yes.
No
Yeah,
more
exactly.
No more communication across the border.
There we go. There it is. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, so Craig, what you were saying is that
Yeah, what-
freewheeling conversations, that sort of thing.
Things board ready when they come to the board. And if not, I know sometimes we want to try to bring something in and say to the board, okay, we're working on something. This is an and if you have any particular thoughts that you really want to get across to the committee, just reach out to the committee, brings it back to the board for a board vote. We're ready to go. And hopefully, you brief the board ahead of time.
You're dropping in and out again, Craig, just FYI.
Still that problem, huh?
Well, if you guys would pay your bills, then we wouldn't, tariff.
Well, let me just see if
Turn those background porn downloads off and you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, tell Iggy to
What?
stop.
What?
Just as a reminder, this is being streamed to YouTube right now.
Oh, okay. Mike Thompson, where are you?
Yeah.
He's frozen.
He's at camp though. Yes, he was talking.
Oh,
to me.
okay.
test. You guys, I'm sure lots of strength.
Hmm?
Danny will be 10 minutes late. She's still at work.
I don't know where Josh is. I'll send him a ping. Not you, Josh N, but Josh K.
Okay, can you guys can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, for the moment.
Seem to be able to, yeah.
Test. Any better? About the same, probably.
About the same.
Craig, I can see your lips move, but no one can hear you. Again, we can see you're talking, but can't hear you. If you can hear us. Now you're muted, so definitely can't hear you.
Okay, Josh Keep is on his way. He just arrived home. So he'll be here in just a moment.
Maybe that'll give you a second to reboot your computer, Craig. Try it.
Josh, you look super excited.
I'm getting ready to fly back to Seattle in the morning, so.
Yay!
Well,
You
I don't
guys
know.
see
How's
this
the weather in
weekend?
Hawaii?
It's beautiful as always, and I'm getting so excited to go to that 30-degree temperature that Mike was just talking about.
It's only 40 at night. You'll
It's
be
been
fine.
70 during the day. I mean, it's not been tropical or anything.
Okay, well, it's 70 here at night, so.
I mean, you can see the weather behind me. I mean, like,
AI generated, I'm sure.
What happened to Craig?
I think he went to go reboot his computer.
What are you doing, Millie?
Millie, are you in California?
Portland.
Oh,
Portland, Oregon. Working at the Nike.
I think Craig is now missing in action. What is that, Drew?
Blurry animal.
Dogs, there's the other one.
Yeah.
And here's Pike.
2 additional board members.
Well, Dana, you might have to step up.
Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Okay. I'm doing this off my iPad because right at the moment my computer has decided it's now going to install updates. So I didn't ask for that. All right. So let's get rolling here. And I'll try and start the meeting again. Just a second. Yeah, 1 second. All right. Can you guys can hear me okay? Is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay,
me.
great.
Yep.
All right, thanks very much. All right, so what I'll do is I will is I'll call the meeting to order. It is April the 20th, 2025, 7 p.m. Pacific time. This is the meeting of the Board of Directors for Triangle Recreation Camp. My name is Craig Maynard. I'm the president. And I have circulated the agenda. And I'm confirming that we have quorum. And I have circulated the agenda, and I'm also seeking to get approval of the agenda as circulated.
I move we approve the agenda as circulated.
Okay, very good. Also, moving on the agenda, approval of the March 25th, 2025 minutes. They've been circulated.
So moved.
Floor is open for discussion. That was Michael Ferris.
Yep.
And floor is open for discussion.
Call the question.
Question's been called. All those in favor of the agenda, or sorry, of the minutes from March 25, 2025, and the motion is carried. Moving on to reports of officers, president's report, general announcements. Nothing too dramatic in my end of the world as far as general announcements goes. And there's nothing new in policy analysis. Strategic planning, if Stuart, did you want to give an update in that end of the world, please?
So, with the bridge project is one of the ones that we've been looking at. That is moving forwards. Currently, we're investigating, the team that's looking after that, or the committee, should I say, is investigating different bridge types. Our industrious leader here, Craig, has also discovered a bridge that has been for sale that might fit the requirements as well, which is using, once again, a aluminum bridge that's mainly used for it's been used in yachting and stuff like that, but would work great for our purpose right here. The plan is basically that once we have the bridge, we can get the footings designed for the bridge, and then we can submit that, get that approved. And if we're good to go there, then obviously we can move forwards with getting the bridge installed from there, assuming costs for the bridge are approved. We're only just the committees for new zoning, or rezoning, I suppose is almost a way to put it, for finding new camping spots and replacing site 11 down below has kicked off as well. So we're going to start looking into a few things with that one. So it's going to be obviously more parking spots in the campground in general. We're looking at more tent camping spots and the possibility of maybe more RV spots or any other usable ground that we might be able to utilize cheaply. Some of that will also come down to seeing if we can manage the land a little bit better with forest management, see if we can get some logging in maybe that will help us clear up some land, if that's going to be a feasible thing for us to do or not. And then permits committee, I'll let Gary speak to that one when he's ready. And I'll also let Gary speak about the potential couple of other things that he's working on as well for development.
So this was the development report. Is that what you're giving?
As well as a bit of mix of two.
Okay.
Because it's coming out of strategic planning as well, so it gets a little muddled. But anyways, it's under the heading of strategic planning because the directors had obviously put some of these issues up, and we're making it clear that we're moving forward on what they think are the ideas, and we'll see how it progresses. One more thing. Okay, anything further, Stuart?
That's all I have right now.
Okay. I didn't get it into here. I thought I did on my agenda. There was a recent creation of the Granite Falls and Communities Subcommittee coming out of my end of the world, the President's Office, under External Affairs. And I don't know if, and I can't, because I'm having trouble with my Zoom at the moment, whether Matt Schaefer is here or not.
I am here.
There he is. Okay, Matt, take it away.
Okay, so as you were saying, we have formed the GFNC committee is for us to be a little bit more connected with the communities around the Rogue Valley, Silverton, Granite Falls itself. In addition with that, we have joined the Granite Falls Chamber of Commerce. And Ted will, and I actually will be going to a social networking event with the chamber on May 5th. I think the time is like an hour and a half. So in addition to that, I have joined, and I'm not joined, but I'm following the Granite Falls Fire Department as well. They cover the Rogue Valley, but also there's a Rogue Valley Fire Department. So I'm going to follow that one as well to get updates, just to kind of see what's going on. Ted has joined the Granite Falls community page on Facebook. I am also going to be joining that page. So we can just kind of keep a monitor of the community so that we know that if something is going on in town or in and around the quarries on the loop, we're just a little bit more aware so that we can either up our presence, up our security, so something doesn't happen. So that's pretty much it.
Anyone have any basic questions for this newly formed committee? Nope. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And looks like we're off to a good start. Does anybody else have any other questions for the president's office? No. Okay, moving right along to the vice president of operations, Mr. Williams.
To help the AI, my name is Dana. I'm Vice President of Operations. Camp opening overview. Things appear to be going apace. We've got internet up. Josh will speak to power, but we certainly have water up, and people have been on the ground. So, so that's looking pretty good. When the different committees give their different reports, they'll be able to do a deeper dive. I'm just going to do the top level, just overview of everything, and things look like they're moving in the right direction. And let's see, subcommittees, lower campground. Steve Deerling, are you here? No? Okay, so he's not ready yet. So they're not opening our campground. I think it's not scheduled to be open until the beginning of next month sometime. And then power, Josh, if you could speak to that. Josh.
The generator is in the container. It ran for half an hour on the weekend just as test run. Cables are out all the way to the eastern expansion, including all 3 boxes. Halfway up Trail 8. I believe Trail 6 is done all the way to the end. Thank you to Mike Thompson and those guys down there that collected all those cables from those different sites. And power is down to Site 5. There are the only outstanding areas are the 2 lower boxes. The one that goes in by Stewart is already in. The one at 500 is already in. I just left the 2 for the actual RV spots out of the lower at this point because there's nobody down there, and they don't need to draw any attention for somebody to walk up and walk away with one, given our history this year. There'll be a few sites that may not have power while we wait for seasonals who are currently storing the cables or the boxes in their cabins to arrive and pull them out and get them hooked up. Mostly, I think that's probably going to be Cloud 9 and Heart Attack Ridge at this point. Besides that, the power schedule, as long as there's somebody there to run it, can start as soon as next weekend.
Hey.
John Camping.
Thank you.
I have a question. What actions have we taken based on the report that was given to us from the company that we bought it from that did the annual survey on it, the annual maintenance and review of it? They gave us a report. It had recommendations. I want to know what we're doing with that.
I can't talk to that because I haven't seen that report.
I think are you talking about the annual okay, I think at that point what we can do is Table the question for the
If I,
time.
if I may, that is more of a maintenance question because it has to do with how the generator is being used and maintained. Josh is offering his electric skills to power the environment, but maintenance is in charge of the physical device in terms of being used appropriately. I think I'm understanding the role okay, or at least that's how I envision the role. So Gary, did you have a look at the report that he's speaking of? All it was is that they did maintenance on it and they made recommendations. Have you seen it?
I have not seen the
Okay,
report.
I'll make sure that you
So-
and Josh both see it. Thank you,
I'll review it and then
Millie.
I'll
Yeah,
develop a plan.
okay, thank you, Millie. And Gary and Josh.
Wow.
Any other questions, Millie?
Can I just ask
No,
what the
that's
power
it.
schedule is?
Huh?
Can I just ask what the power schedule is?
It's on the.
It'd be the same as last year, so it's whatever, it's 6 to midnight or on Fridays, most of the day on Saturday, and then a smaller run on Sunday. Long weekends, that would obviously different. This would include a longer run on Sunday for any of Charlie's tea dances and stuff. And then any extra requests that come from marketing for setup for weekends, party weekends and stuff for testing.
And like Sunday through Thursday?
Why don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Um,
If the middle of the week would be dependent on if there's anybody available to run the generator in the middle of the week, right? If there's nobody there, there's no point running it. Given there's some concerns how we're using the generator, I think that next time at camp that Gary and I'll sit down and kind of decide about whether or not maybe we want to limit the midweek running at this point until we know the campground's really busy in the middle of the week, just for if it's not running. But again, we have to see the report once, and then I can sit down with Gary and we can kind of make a decision about that.
If I could just one follow up on it, is there going to be sort of a public place where seasonals would be able to see a schedule? That's kind of, I think, one of the things that would be.
Once Gary and I sit down and we'll look at that report and we'll create a schedule. Once something's kind of confirmed, we'll do the same thing we've done in the past. We'll laminate some copies and put them on all the star boxes.
Thank you.
Yep. As well as at both message boards and on the container.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions for Josh? Okay, so next up is me for the Communications Committee, as I am the chair. It's been very exciting and very fun to traipse behind Adam, God bless him, and find out where he did everything and where the bodies are buried. I think we're good. I think everything will work fine. The only thing I'm waiting on right now is replacement batteries. I submitted a request to Josh and Nye, treasurer, and asking for some replacement batteries. What we were using, just a little background, up to now was old AGM batteries from the network shed that we no longer use. Unfortunately, those things weigh about 120 pounds plus each. And picking it up all by myself, as an example, and putting it inside one of those doghouse is more than a notion, or picking it up with two people is more than a notion. They're just cumbersome and ridiculous. So I'm replacing them with mini, they call them mini 100 amp hour 12 volt batteries. And they will go inside the boxes and outside the Connex, the operations Connex, where that one node is on top of the shed. The existing batteries can be reused. Working with Gary, I'm hoping that we can get, or with Ross, because he's low voltage, see if we can get one of those batteries set up for up above where the water tank is, so we can have some light if we need to work with it at night, and use it inside the operations shed. They stole one of the little battery he had in there, and the other one inside the generator shed if it's needed. And then possibly the last one for down below. But I need to see how Ross is doing. He's not present here. And then talk to him about what his schedule looks like. Some of this I can do. And so I've been playing around with the software that we have, Big Leaf. It does give some data, historical data, which is useful. So we can see how we're using our internets. And within the committee, as we talk, we are discussing different ways to manage data usage through our Starlink. So that's an ongoing discussion. and hopefully we can come up with solutions. And one of the suggestions I'm hoping to be able to do this year is have a site survey done and see if we can get commercial grade antennas installed, just taking a look and seeing what the cost would be. And that way we don't have to keep worrying about the state of those little boxes if we use commercial grade that can stand outside. Anyway, something for another discussion. All right, so that's all that. And then Fire Marshal Brandon Weston.
Nothing much to report. Still need to find a reliable wood person. Got to make a bunch of phone calls. We're not in desperate need, so I'm not rushing, but that will be, we're going to have to, one of the things I missed last time that got stolen was the glorious water pump fire suppression unit that we had just purchased and had never even used once. Was one of the things that was sadly taken from us. So we may want to look into maybe getting the same one, or I'll look into some other options for maybe something cheaper. The main bottleneck for that whole thing is getting the water to the pump, to the hose, is the tricky part of the setting something up, especially for down below, less so up above, but down below it's kind of tricky to get an intake pipe long enough to reach all the way to the river and get to a pump. But we will find something that works and continue to look into some options for that. I guess I should cover diesel and propane. Guy tried to contact the propane company and ended up contacting the diesel company. So I will strike that, flip that, and reverse it about getting a new propane nozzle, because that was another thing that was stolen from us, was the nozzle for the propane dispensing. Both of the tanks are like about 2/3. We don't need filling up quite yet. I would say we'll probably need to fill up probably mid-March, mid-May, early to mid-May. And hopefully I can get a nozzle before then, because certain campers are looking to get propane refills already, and I'm sure the campground itself could use some propane refills for maintenance. But I need the nozzle first, so I need to see if I can maybe, if I come up this weekend, drive by and pick that up so that we can at least fill some bottles while we are up there. That's it. Any questions? Excellent.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next is Mr. Gary Greenwald.
Oh. Okay, so maintenance. So I've finished up the maintenance spreadsheet. I've listed all the equipment on the spreadsheet. I've established the maintenance schedule for each piece of equipment. I have the location of the equipment, and I have volunteers, when they do volunteer, who would be responsible for doing the maintenance. It automatically populates a calendar, so I can print it out each month, keep track of the maintenance, and then verify that the maintenance has been done. Moving on, so we purchased 3 2,000-watt generators. We'll have one at the host hut, one at site 500, and one at the network shed. That may vary a little bit, but the generators will be permanently housed in generator sheds to protect them from the weather, and they'll be locked in to hopefully protect them from theft. Just information on the Jenny replacements. We got bids from 3 local vendors. They all service the products, which was important to us. We've decided on a vendor, Chuckanut Golf Carts. They have a 2-seater with a box similar to the old generator. We have bids that are $9,800. We're working with that vendor to verify the information. We hope to have the Jenny on the grounds, hopefully in a week to 2 weeks. The particular Jenny replacements they do have on their premise, so we should be able to get it on site pretty quick.
And you want to talk about the kind of battery it uses?
Lithium. It's all lithium ion. Yeah.
If I can for a moment, Gary, just to help you out here on something. the AI catching your conversation. I think you used the word generator a couple of times, and I think you meant to say that Ginny is in the electric. Ginny, the
Sorry.
electric cart. Ginny. Okay, that's
Sorry about that.
that's all right. We're all getting used to it.
Yeah. Let's see, moving on, parking lot. Maintenance on the parking lot, the quarry road, doing some trenching to extend the fire suppression to the site 500 and the lower. We put out bids. We got 3 bids back. And we have decided on a vendor is within our budget of $18,000, and that'll be regrading the quarry road. Like I said, fixing the culvert that's washing out, addressing the water that comes down the quarry road, maybe widening the quarry road a little bit so we can get some parking along the side of it. I'll be working with development, ops, anybody else for when the contractor's up there. We may want to use them for other items, which would be additional costs, but I'll be coordinating that with all the parties who would be involved in that. And then also there'll be some coordinating on shutting down some of the parking lot area when they're doing the work. So I'll be working with the parking people and anybody else who has any anything to do with the parking lots or any of that other area. We'll be doing some trail maintenance. We'll be graveling Trail 9. We'll be fixing the trails going up to Drew's site. We'll be fixing the trail that goes up to the sites that are above Dana. And then we're going to address some issues on the trail road 5. There's some puddling there. When the porta potty truck goes down there, it's creating some issues with that road and stuff. So we're going to address that. We will have extra gravel available to purchase. I don't have a price on that yet because I haven't confirmed what the price of gravel is yet. And I believe that's it for maintenance. Any questions?
Just one point, Gary, clarification. When you say the quarry road, do you mean that Osage Drive up to Woodpeckers and then Woodpeckers up is going up to the quarry, right? Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
We'll be redoing that entire road going up, so it'll be easier to drive for the parking up in the quarry area.
Okay, but nothing but what would be Osage Drive from Woodpeckers downhill.
Say that again?
From Woodpeckers downhill.
What we're addressing basically is from Woodpeckers up.
Okay, got it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions? All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. And Seasonal Sites Chairperson is Richie, and Richie's not here. I know for a fact that the Seasonal Sites Committee is going through requests to be added, and then folks who have given up their RV sites have been replaced. So a lot of activity is occurring right now. So, and that continues. And then Health and Safety and Security, Mike Thompson.
Hello, how's everybody doing? All right, we'll start with the campground. We have either been on grounds or people have been on grounds constantly for the last month, pretty much. There's nothing new to report with people that don't belong here being here. We haven't had any further incidents. Let's see, hold on. So I have talked to the deputy. They are working a couple of leads. He wasn't too excited about it, but they are working a couple of things. So that was an update from that. I'm continuing to send information to him about property missing as it comes into me. And I expect that to be, a year-long thing as we continue to come to camp go into our spaces and find stuff, things are going to be missing. So, and it's everybody's choice whether they want to participate in that, but it certainly helps everybody's cause if you do. So I would encourage you, as you this year find things that are missing in your site, to just send me a note, let me know, so I can pass that information on to the sheriff's deputies that are in charge of the case and get that taken care of. We're doing a little bit of restructuring in health, safety, and security. Gail's going to be taking over as the chair, the sub-chair, or the chair for the subcommittee of health under health, safety, and security, to kind of take some burden off of me so that I can concentrate on some of the other stuff. So, and she will be in charge of all the health things, related things, including the equipment. So thank you, Gail. And I think that's all I have for now. We are continuing, as we heard a little bit earlier in the meeting, continuing to look at different options and trying to secure the campground and get prices together and stuff like that, so that I can sit down and work with development on figuring something that we could do to help secure the campground in a further manner. That's going to be an ongoing process. It's not anything that's going to happen overnight. It's going to continue to happen over the season. So if anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to ask. No? Okay. And I think that's really all I have for this meeting.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mike. And Sanitary Affairs, Michael Ferris.
Well, we have the porta potties that we have, and not really. And right now we're only emptying the 2 dumpsters up above, and neither one of them are full. I mean, the one with the lid is probably about half full as of last weekend, but the other one is still pretty empty. And the 2 if you have stuff to throw away, the 2 down below are empty. So we'll probably restart service on the ones down below a week or 2 before Memorial Day weekend. So if you have stuff to throw it away, now is a really good time. We are considering getting a big dumpster, but if we can get stuff thrown away now and not need one, that would save us $1,500 or more. And then as far as additional dumpsters go, porta potties go, unless we see a need, and please let me know, we will probably increase those the week before Memorial Day weekend.
I have a question. Can I move the porta potty out of my parking stall in my campsite and back to where it belongs?
Oh yes, absolutely. I've had to move several of them.
Okay,
it's a new company.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there a risk that somebody might do number 2 on your car?
No, I'm more concerned with where they left it and somebody in there doing number 2, and the bathroom might fall over while they're in it because it's not very stable.
Okay, fair enough.
Just a point, there are some sandbags and stuff where the porta potties used to be, or where we had them before. So I'll move those so that they can put the porta potties in the location where they were before. That's probably, I assume that's why they put it up where they did, because there is some stuff there that probably
No, I
didn't
just think
allow
it's because it's a new company and they don't know the exact locations.
Oh,
They've done pretty
well,
good, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get that.
They're not
cleaned up
that
so
heavy.
that
Dana and I moved the one to the lower campground all the way from the top because they couldn't get to the gate.
All right. Dana, do you want to turn your mic on?
Yeah. Any more questions for Mike? No? Okay. And so the next is water systems, Mr. Joshua Keep.
Water system is up and operational. People were using it last weekend. I'm currently in the process of filling out the forms for Department of Health for the seasonal startup procedure. We received a letter from them last month about new processes and procedures that have to be followed for that. So I'm just currently filling all that out, and then it'll probably go back to Dana because it has to be snail mailed apparently. So they don't have an email address. So, and that's all about water.
Okay, so I don't know. I follow the startup procedure, and there's some boxes that need to be checked. We could take this offline, but if you might be interested in those, or unless it's something totally different. Okay, so tree committee, Mike. Mike has hurt himself, or how do we say that? He sprained his ankle, so he's not available to us, but he has been working. And I know we can count on his return, and we hope for a speedy recovery. Okay, so now, Craig, point of order. I don't know what this is on here, asset management. That's under maintenance, and then I don't know why there's a line item referring to something that is part of BAU.
It's just an announcement.
Okay, great. Okay, so asset management is BAU for maintenance, so that there's not a separate thing. All right, so that's it. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. On to Mr. Daniels, Vice President of Development.
Alrighty. Well, I covered most of the main things I was going to cover before, but Gary has a few more projects that he's working on that he can give some updates on, as well as being able to give a quick update as well, just on the permit committee. So since he's head of the committee, I'll let him take that away and we'll go from there. Then we'll go back to questions.
Hello again. So we have had a couple permits approved. Just a reminder to everybody is we do have to permit fences. We want to make sure that they're within the legal height and stuff that the county does it. So keep that in mind. We also require a tree survey of the sites before the permits can be approved. So we'll have to coordinate with Mike on that. So please be patient. There may be some delays, but usually Mike's pretty good at looking at the area. And the whole idea is we want to remove any hazardous trees before we build, because removing a hazardous tree when structures are there is way more expensive than getting rid of it when there's nothing there. Let's see. What else was I going to go over? Super. The permits and the trees. I think that's about it.
Okay, I know we have a few other things that we're working on, but currently we're still waiting on prices and everything to come back and get final bids. So it's not worth going into it yet until we have that information. So,
okay. Any questions? All right. Thank you very much.
all right. And yeah, just before I hand back to Craig, so going through with development, what we're basically doing this year is it's a little bit different from normal. So I've spun up committees for each of the projects directly. And then each of those committees will be working on those projects. So what I'm chairing the projects at the moment, but I'm looking at handing over chair to some of those projects to people within the committee themselves to continue on. So when that happens during the next board meeting, I'll bring those committee chairs on to be able to give reports directly on those from there. But I am curious if anyone has any questions or is after any information from the development committee at this development at all, or any of the committees at this time.
I think you've got also Simon.
Yes. I don't believe Simon has any updates. Did you join us today, Simon? You did. Any updates from you, Simon, at the moment?
You're muted, babe.
Our nursery project, will soon see if it bears fruit, but it's a long-term project, so it's nothing really pressing. The most pressing thing is still the removal of the silver lamium infestation down below and on Trail 5.
Okay.
I have work parties planned for that, so it's good.
You have work parties planned for?
Yeah, the second Saturday of each month.
If I may say, your periwinkle efforts are looking good.
Yeah,
on Trail 7 at the base, Cascadia going up. It's still
there.
there, but it looks better than it did. Huh?
We'll have to keep beating it back for some time. But,
okay, do you want me to pick out some of those?
Yeah, if you ever see it, kill it.
Kill it.
Root it out, root and branch. It's no good. I mean, the slugs won't eat it, deer won't eat it. Had this idea of bringing goats. I had this brilliant idea. Let's bring some goats in to eat the silver lamium. No, it's toxic to goat. So that's not happening.
Okay.
Just a lot of work.
I just want to make sure you got some airtime there,
So nothing pressing right now.
Simon. Okay, good. Updates are always good, folks. Even if it's not new news, it's just we're still working on whatever you're working on. Great. And I don't think you have anything more.
That's all right now.
That's it for it. Okay. On to the Vice President of Marketing, Charlie Hill. Charlie, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. So, the 50 for 50 campaign, we're nearly up to all 50 events. So we're just a couple of events shy right now. We'll likely be adding in a membership appreciation beach event. But we'll have the full list of the 50 events published here very soon. Ticket sales. So far we've sold 33 season passes and 65 individual event tickets totaling $11,095. Keep in mind that the last day to buy the seasonal party pass this year is May 19th because Memorial Day is a week early this year. So don't miss out on getting the deal by waiting too long. I'll be posting some reminders about that on the Facebook membership forum. Party site tent raising is scheduled for May 10th. We will need 12 to 15 volunteers to raise the tents. The more the merrier. Please come help out that day. And then lastly, merch. I sent artwork to the printer today. He's going to do some mock-ups and put together a quote for me. Due to the size of this order, I will be getting 3 quotes prior to ordering anything. Everything else is going according to plan, and we will be ready for Memorial Day weekend. And that's all I got.
Any questions for Vice President of Marketing? Nope. Moving on to Vice President of Member Relations, Michael Millie Ferris.
So, volunteer committee, our chairperson Gail, and her cohort Thomas have been working towards a centralized volunteer requests process. So if you have any signups that you need for any events, specifically for volunteers, please let Queen Gail at live.com know. That's Queen Gail at live.com. And she needs to know about any events that you have, the dates, times, the number of volunteers needed, and if there are shifts, the number of people you need per shifts and the hours that you have. So, lower campground work parties, if there's like going to be something where we're painting or picking up wood around the campgrounds, helping the fire marshal with loading wood, anything like that, and you need volunteers, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help. The first sign-up sheet for Memorial Day is already out, and we've been discussing having all of the event weekend sign-up sheets done a month before the Memorial Day weekend, so we can do a big shout out for the volunteers to sign up. And so Thomas and Gail are working on those right now. Host hut report. New items for this store have all been Jeff Young is the chairman, has been talking to Josh about ordering those and has a lot of them already ordered. We're going to have a work party to finish painting the host hut, which Jeff has already started, and to do some repairs from the damage it experienced during the break-ins. Jeff has already created the volunteer sign-up sheet for the host hut for the entire year. And he'll be going up this weekend to help coordinate getting things all together. Regarding the parking committee, I've had an initial conversation with Lawrence, and he sounds interested in continuing with his parking chair positions. And I'm still looking for somebody which I'll probably put online to see who would like to do the RV reservations, because those require pretty good IT skills. And that's about it for me. Any questions?
Nope, doesn't sound like it. Okay, moving on. So secretary, we've got a little, you'll notice an item here on transition discussion. I have Drew, you can, it's obviously clear that you're going to make a request to be to resign as the secretary. We'll do that a little bit later, but we'll get into the two pieces of information that we've already circulated. One is the membership levels are out there. And if anybody has any questions, they're kind of raw numbers right now. They don't really mean a whole heck of a lot because it's before anybody needs to renew their seasonals. We won't really know those numbers until May 1st. And for the regular membership numbers, because they don't have a May 1st deadline, they recur as their 365 days comes up. We'll see how that plays out as far as a rise or fall compared to previous years. The limited membership numbers, of course, those fluctuate all the time. They don't really mean a whole heck of a lot, because people can start new ones anytime they want. We don't have to worry too much about that. As far as policy analysis goes, there isn't anything other than some leftover work from Adam, who wanted to refresh the camper's guide. Right now, there's nothing that's come in where anyone's making any requests for any camper's guide amendments. So I think that's about it. Drew, is there anything further before we could move on?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay, great. I moved I guess what we can do is we can go get out of order here for a second here. Robert's Rules has this concept that resignations are supposed to be special orders and they come after everything else. So anyways, I put it there. But we can step out of order and move up to special orders, and we'll jump back on the schedule to the treasurer's report if everyone's okay with that. So we do have a motion to accept the resignation of the secretary. So Drew, if you want to make that announcement.
Yeah, I move that the board accept my resignation as secretary effective immediately.
So moved. And
I'm
okay.
sorry, did we say that he's going to continue on the board?
Yes.
Okay.
There's floor is open for discussion. Is anyone going to call the question?
Call the question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, raise your right hand or signal. And anybody opposed? It looks like Gail's going to abstain. And the motion is carried. One more motion to go.
Yes, I move that the board elect Brandon to fill the secretary role.
I'm sorry. I'm here.
Second, Pat motion.
Seconded by Josh Keep. Floor is open for discussion. Just one word from the chair is that Brandon has been advised.
But I wanted to ask.
He hasn't been voluntold.
Sorry, guys, I was here. I stepped away for a minute.
Anyone going to call the question?
Call the question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And all those opposed, motion is carried.
I'm abstaining.
And you're abstaining.
Who said that? Oh, Brandon said that.
That field.
Excellent. Okay. So then let's jump back to item G, which is the treasurer. Josh, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Everyone got my reports. I don't know why it says there's an action item for budget summary. I think this is last month's, but there's no action item needed for budget summaries, I guess. But
Oh, what I meant that was meant to do is a note that because the executive committee had amended the budget slightly from the boards, and if there was
yes, we increased the budget for the communications.
yeah. So folks, if you remember, there was the executive committee adjusted the budget for the increased costs associated with the business version of Starlink.
Sorry.
So this is this moment where if some member of the board would like to comment. Okay, that's it. Nope.
Our financial status is still pretty strong. I'm trying to get my computer to share anything right now, but it does not like me. Give me a second. Our financial. I don't know why this is not working. I don't know which one I just shared. Our statement of things, you can see we're doing pretty strong financially. After all of our theft, loss prevention, and everything like that, we still have 27,000 left in checking, 13,000 in our backup, and 65,000 in our savings. So we're still at a fairly good spot. Even after we see that $10,000 go out for the Ginny replacement, we'll still be in a very strong spot. A lot of membership renewals have not come in yet. The seasonal invoices went out for membership. Thanks to those who have paid those already. You are keeping us in a very strong point as far as all seasonals go. And again, the events has pulled through too. So that's keeping us going strong at the beginning of the season. We still have a strong savings account. So we are in a fairly good spot starting this year, even after the replacement of a lot of things that were stolen from last year. But if anyone has any questions about the month to date or the budgets or actuals, please let me know. Other than that, again, thanks everyone who's paying your bills. And if you haven't paid your bills, I'll start bothering you soon.
One question for you. Did we make a decision yet on whether we're going to file an insurance claim for matters not including the electric cart and the Ginny?
We haven't really had a formal discussion about that. I don't think it's probably worth our valuable time to try to get that done for just as being under $5,000 for everything that we have kind of lost in this. I'm sure it's going to be more. And I think if there's anything more substantial, we could do that. But as of right now, from a financial standpoint, I don't think it's worth it just because our premium would probably go up quite a bit if we start filing a claim on theft and loss for anything. If we're touching closer to $10,000 or $15,000, we might want to reassess that. But as of right now, I think that would be a bad decision.
Okay, your recommendation is not to file a claim. And then that's not including the electrical generator, sorry, the electric cart.
That's right, that's not including Ginny, the electric cart.
Yeah, that's a separate matter. All right. And then if you do think it's going to be, you'll bring it up as a matter that the board can then be alive to, and
yes,
you can make an announcement in the future on that if it comes up. Charlie, I'm going to ask for a moment. You just want to give the update on that filing of the claim for the replacement of the electric cart, and I'm going to chime in with you.
Sure. So they're ready to cut us a check. I just need a certificate of origin, which Craig is going to get. They're sending me text messages every couple of days. Hey, do you have the certificate of origin yet? And I keep kicking the can because Mr. Maynard needs to get me the certificate of origin.
Yes, and I can explain what's happened. I've contacted, the certificate of origin comes from the manufacturer, which is Polaris. I've spoken to the staff at Polaris for these issues. They've got their, it's about like a 3-part process to get this certificate of origin. The first is saying who we are as the owner. I've said that. Now, what they want is me in person to actually attend a dealership where I show them some identification and they say, okay, we agree that you are who you say you are, and the reports are of a theft, which which I have stated. They will then tell me at the dealership to now pick up the telephone and call Polaris again, who will then in turn issue the certificate of origin. So it is a 3-step process. And that's as fast as we can make it happen. I will be at the Polaris dealership on Friday afternoon, this coming Friday afternoon, which I think is the 25th, and in Mount Vernon, Washington. So once I get confirmation on that telephone call, I'll advise Charlie. I'll also ask for how quickly they can send it to us, whether it can be done by PDF or does it have to be snail mail or special delivery or something else. That's it. Josh, is there anything coming out of membership and fees? I don't think so. Is there?
Nope, nothing else coming out of membership and fees.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, in light of this certificate of origin issue, is it then, Gary, should you then, when purchasing, receive a certificate of origin upon purchase so that we don't have to go through this? Is this a thing that we should do? Craig?
Yes. Yes, I would recommend. I thought you said Gary.
No, I was talking about Gary's efforts.
Oh, okay, yes.
Card, and in that, yeah, okay.
If we're buying it secondhand, then we need to file for it. If we're buying it firsthand, then it'll probably come with the unit.
Okay, well, we don't want to assume. So, Gary, if I may ask you, as VP of Operations, to look into the language around certificate of origin and whether these folks that you're looking to purchase from understand that language and can give you proof.
I would do that.
Okay, great. And then the secretary can file it.
It would be
So
either
you're
a
done.
certificate of origin or a title, one or the other.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
one or
all
the
right.
other.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
all right.
Apparently, the
I'll make it
distinction
happen.
is the distinction to be made is if it's going to be used off road or on public highways. If it's on a public highway, it has to be a title. If it's off road where it doesn't get registered with DMV, then it's just a certificate of origin, and it's treated as like equipment as opposed to a vehicle.
Okay.
Anyway,
Second, right?
moving right along. We touched on the insurance claim review and strategy, and the treasurer has advised us that what the strategy is. Campers Guide policy revision, that's just is just an announcement that this is something that'll be picked up by the secretary's policy analysis committee. And I don't see anything else on the agenda. Does anyone else have any announcements or state? Oh, sorry. Setting of the May 2025 board meeting. I'm looking at my calendar right now.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to have it on the May 20th at 7. That's the third weekend.
Second.
Thirds.
Moved by Brandon Weston to have it on May the 20th, 2025, 7 p.m. on Zoom, Pacific time. Second, and floor is open for discussion.
Call the question.
Oh, question's been called. All those in favor for May?
Wait, you said 25. So 22nd.
No, 20th. 20 with.
Oh, sorry.
20th.
20, yep.
2025. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? And the motion is carried. Does anyone have any announcements that they need to make that they haven't covered off? Then I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. So moved by Josh,
Second.
seconded, floor is open for discussion.
Call for the question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And the motion is carried. And folks, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Please.
Are you going to be in America this weekend?
Yes, I am coming down on Friday. I think
Okay.
I said that earlier.
Okay.
And the thing. We're gonna do. As I promised before. Once I see the summary, the AI summary from tonight's Zoom meeting, I'll do a once over with it to make sure there's no obvious errors. And then we'll generate the minutes for circulation. So watch your email boxes. And
How fun. We're using AI for minutes. We're members of the 22nd century. We no longer think.
Okay. Thanks very much, folks. And have a very good evening. Take care.
Bye-bye.